Welcome to the video. This is the first one here, so I don't really know what to say or how to lead it, but kind of just gonna talk about things and go from there. uh it's around 11:30 a.m. now. A little bit hungover. I've been struggling with sobriety realistically ever since I can remember. It started as a kid with video games, food, things like that. I would always kind of push it to the extreme. Like 2005, I started playing World of Warcraft as a 12-year-old, and right away I was playing 10 to 12 hours a day. Realistically, I should have been a kid, been outside more, studying, hanging out with my friends, but I kind of just found this world that I got to escape in and be myself. And as I aged, finished high school, university, things like that, I was never really a big drinker in the beginning. It was more weed use that I kind of started around age 20. I'm 32 right now. It started very casually, like most people do. I was doing it with my friends on weekends, intermittently. But of course, quickly it became a daily thing. I saw it as like, hey, I could give myself like a buff before I go to class. I can make class more enjoyable. I can make homework more enjoyable. I can make cleaning more enjoyable. It kind of seemed like a positive at the time. I could just smoke and do whatever and enjoyed it. However, years of doing that, it started, changing. It went from making things more enjoyable when using it to I can't do things at all unless I use it. It feels wrong. Like the things I was doing are empty now. So I had to smoke or consume something to do things. And then that just became the normal state of doing things, which in turn led to me doing less things and having less enjoyment in the things I was doing. Yeah, overall it just was quite difficult. So I smoked weed for about 10 years. I tried to quit many times, never really stuck, a week or two here or there. But in around 2017, I moved to a new apartment, so I used that opportunity to quit smoking weed at all. While I did quit for about 7 or 8 months, this was kind of when I started getting into drinking. So, I didn't have my joint at the end of the night, so I started, cracking a beer here or there, having some wine. Obviously it's never good to replace one addiction with another, especially a worse one. But at the time, I never really liked alcohol, so I just told myself, like, it's impossible for me to get addicted to it. Looking back, that's a absolutely insane statement to make and definitely not true. So don't replace your weed use with alcohol or anything else realistically. But yeah, kind of as the years went by, I started, drinking more and more. Luckily, never really liked liquor, so I kind of just stayed away from that in general. I hate the taste of it. I hate the feeling of it. But I do love beer. So, now on average, I drink about 6 tall boys every evening. I finish work. The whole day I'm kind of waiting. I feel like crap. Obviously, my work performance is kind of suffering. Like, I'm just doing what I have to do and not kind of progressing or like challenging myself. I work from home, so I'm just, I wake up in my bed, I feel like shit. Sometimes I'll take a shower. Usually I'll just drink water and kind of migrate to my computer desk and try to work. I do a few hours of work per day, but I'm constantly kind of switching between YouTube videos, watching shows, playing games, half working. Everything's kind of like mindless and it's all about passing time until we get to that, 5 to 6 p.m. mark. At that point, I usually am like, I get this like rush of dopamine where like, yes, I'm finished with the day. I can just fly over to the store right now, get a six pack, come back, turn on my video games, and, over the course of 3 to 4 hours, just polish off those 6 beers. And then, I'll kind of eat dinner at like 9 p.m. after I quit drinking, of course, after I stopped or finished my beers that I had. Never really, you don't want to kill your buzz by eating in the middle of them. So, of course, you have to finish all 6 before you eat. A lunatic mentality realistically, but that's what it does to you. Yeah, so I've been doing that for several years now. Last year, I had a stint of about 2 months of sobriety and it was amazing. I lost a lot of weight, I was working out often, I was eating well, I was sleeping way better, I felt way healthier. But it's weird, it's like some kind of hunger in your soul that's like never satisfied, so you just gotta almost ignore it, take it day by day. Don't do the things that your soul's hungry for. That's what makes it so difficult. So, you know, every day kind of have that soul hunger. So yeah, I just go out, I get those beers, I drink, play games, pretty much don't progress anything, and anything that I need to take care of around the house, workouts, all that, it all suffers, so it's always put off. When I do it, it's done in like a haphazard way, so it's never as good as it can be and as good as I know it should be. So that always kind of eats away at your self-confidence. You're doing worse than you can. So that really sucks. But yeah, I'm just starting this channel here. I want to document my journey. I want to share with you guys kind of like the thoughts that I have going through this. I'm really hoping soon I can get, out of the grasp of alcohol here. I've been trying to taper off for like the last several months. Yeah, it's difficult. I would say the last 6 months I've drank every single day. In the last few weeks, I'd cut it down to 5 beers a night, 4 beers a night, 3 beers a night. And a few days of cutting it down, I start feeling better. So, you'd think logically you would just stop and continue feeling better. But no, actually feeling better makes me say, oh, I can actually have 6, maybe 8 tall boys tonight, because I only had 4 the past 4 nights, every night, of course. So 16 beers the past 4 nights. And then, you just get back to the six packs again and start thinking about weaning off again. So weaning off doesn't really do anything unless you actually go to 0 and stay at 0. See, I want to quit like tonight, but I have all this anxiety, like I'm terrified, like am I going to get horrible withdrawals? Am I going to get sick, I wouldn't say I really have any crazy withdrawals now. Like I do drink light beers at Coors Light these days, so it's not a huge amount of standard drinks per day, just like if I was drinking liquor or something, but you know, it still takes a toll on my body. Like this, my sleep's horrible. I have bloat, excess weight gain, lack of energy, things like that. So yeah, I'm really hoping I could conjure some faith and strength in myself, I guess, to start completely tapering down and, you know, quitting within the next few days. And I'm terrified to do that and to admit that honestly. But I am creating this video kind of as like a leap of faith to get started on that journey. So, I mean, if you made it this far, thank you for sitting with me through all my rambling. It's my first video. I don't really know what to say. But I'm doing this kind of to document my own journey for myself, and if I can have this space for you to listen or resonate with any of my issues, that's also amazing. So I appreciate you for watching this. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna head off here, and hopefully I'll be back soon.